Hell, so I figured since I've got a 3-day weekend that I would spend this time doing a couple videos and maybe dealing with a couple subjects that people have often asked me about. But this time I want to do a video on something that I've often contemplated on, and that is, what is it that we are seeking? What is it in life that we seek? Sometimes that can be an easy question to ask oneself, but when you peel it back and peel back the layers, you begin to understand that's not really an easy question, and it's definitely not an easy question to answer. One of the things that put me on a path to really looking into what I was seeking was when I was introduced to the 88 precepts. One of the precepts that really spoke out to me was a precept that when David Lane stated that one should go up into the mountains or to a secluded or lonely place and observe the stars, and basically observe nature. Well, on the surface, that seems like it's an easy thing to do. But when you look deeper into what David Lane said, and you look to somewhat the hidden meaning of what he was saying, was take yourself to a lonely place. Take yourself to a place where nobody's around you. There's no outside influences. There's nothing for you to think about. It's just you and who you really are. Because it's always easy for us to put a face on for our families, kindreds, the people who know us. It's always easy to put a mask on. But the one thing that we can't do is put a mask on against ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why David Lane stated, go somewhere where you're by yourself. And I often do that. I often go to places where there's no other influences on me. There's nothing there to spark my interest. And I think, what is it that I'm seeking for in life? What is it that makes me happy? What is it that is important to me? And when I stop and I think about it, I realize that the most important thing to me is becoming the man that I'm meant to be. And that's like a statement that a lot of people put out there, but what does that actually mean? Becoming the man or woman that we were meant to be. That is something that only each individual can answer. That's something that only a person who knows himself or herself can answer. And for me, I used to get caught up on the hype of my name. I used to love the fact that people came from all over the country to hold bloats with me. They would want to call me and just talk to me. It wasn't my ego that was being stroked. It was my inner self saying, I have to be doing something right for all these people to want to know me, to want to just talk to me on the phone or drive from other states to hold bloats. And what I finally realized was, and I really realized this when I went back to prison, was all that was an illusion. All of that was a mirage. It was nothing more than a smokescreen for me to hide who I truly was, and to hide the capabilities that I had. And it wasn't until I went back and I was in a cell and all this stuff was taken from me that I realized, you know what? I can live my life for other people. I can be the person that other people want me to be. I can be the husband. I can be the father that my wife needs or my kids need. I can even be the grandfather that my grandkids need. But is that truly who I am? Or is that just me being something that other people feel like I should be? So I began to really think about it and contemplate it. And I asked myself a simple question. What am I seeking in life? And my answer to myself was to be me. To be the person that inside I want to be, not what somebody else wants me to be. And the more that I begin to build on that, the more that I begin to not act based upon what other people felt like or felt how I should act, that was when I began to tap into who I truly was. And I believe that I'm truly a good-hearted person. I seek to try to help people. And I try to be the father that I should be. I try to be the husband that I should be. I try to be the kinsman that I should be. And these are the things that make me happy. And the reason why is because I'm acting on my own thoughts. When I practice our way of life and I follow our way of life, I always look at everything that I read and say, how can I build upon this? How can this become a part of my life and mold with who I am trying to become? And one of the things that I've learned is that in many cases, in order for a person to reach that level of consciousness, they need to eliminate things in their life that hinder their growth. It could be drinking. It could be doing drugs. It could be crime. It could be a bad relationship. It could be all these things. But in order for a person to begin to elevate to the level that he needs or she needs to be, they have to begin to eliminate these elements. Because as long as these elements float around in the mind, it eliminates the person from focusing on who they are and what it is that they seek in. Some people seek to die in battle. Some people's ultimate goal is, if they believe this or not, is to go to Valhalla. Some Christians want to go to heaven. Everybody wants to go somewhere that they would feel like they have achieved the ultimate goal. Well, my issue is how do you know there is a real Valhalla and you're going to go? How do you know there's a real heaven and you're going to go? Could this be our outlook on, I'm not going to face who I am today. I will only focus on something that I believe is in the hereafter. And if I live in accordance with what these religions or what these people claim gets me to the ultimate paradise, so to speak, am I still looking at who I am? Am I still focusing on who I am as a person? So when I say that, or I ask myself, what am I seeking? What I'm seeking is to be the best person or the best man that I can be to myself first. Because before I can be any good to anybody else, I have to be good to myself. I have to put myself first. Then I seek to be a good husband. And that means not what society thinks a good husband is, but what I believe is a good husband. And as long as my wife reacts to it favorably, then I know that I'm doing the right thing. Becoming a good father. Do I make my daughter happy when I look at her or my son? Do I look at the best part of my life? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do right? My grandkids, same case, same scenario. So what I would propose is, if you're asking yourself this question, what am I seeking? First, eliminate all outside influences. And like David Lane said, go to a lonely mountain and contemplate the majesty, contemplate the gods, the goddesses, and however your outlook on that is. And then begin to ask yourself what it is you seek. And this somewhat coincides with the mythology of the god Wotan hanging on the tree for 9 days and 9 nights. I've mentioned this story so many times in videos. But the thing about it is that the god Wotan was seeking. And he had to go to a tree, which represents a lonely place. He had to go there. He had to eliminate himself from all outside influences in order to truly answer his own question. And that is, what do I seek? So with that said, I won't bore you with a long video. Just remember, if you want to become who you truly are, you have to eliminate all those thoughts and really all those people who try to make you into what they want you to be. With that said, as always, hold the heathen hammer high and fuck their world and their thoughts too when it comes to yourself. Helsa.